99 people found kidnapped in a Houston house.
The human smuggling victims are being treated tonight after they were rescued from deplorable conditions in a stash house.
Police say several of them are infected with COVID-19 and some had not had any food or water in days.
Sometimes the criminals escape through tunnels and communicate via radio at lookout houses to let them know a raid is coming in the area.
Talkies or radio cell phones set to specific frequencies, which are selected after analyzing the local radio spectrum and avoiding any radio frequency being used regularly by people like cab drivers, police, or scrappy 80s tweens. Once halcones have a message to convey, like police are headed north or soldiers are asleep, their walkie-talkie frequency will be picked up by antenna the cartel has constructed all across Mexico, in trees, on rooftops, on existing communications infrastructure, or on whatever other tall pointy thing they can find. The nearest antenna will both receive and transmit the message, but if it needs to travel further than the immediate vicinity, it'll get amplified by repeaters, many of which are owned by communications companies like Nextel, but which Zetas managed to hijack and reprogram.
Some people asked, well, why didn't anyone see that many people go into one house? How could they fit that many people in one house? Some stash houses have tunnels leading to other stash houses, especially if drugs are involved, along with the human smuggling. It costs up to $1 million or more to build.
Artist and drug dealer El Chapo. For Joaquin Guzman Loera, the Mexican drug lord, also known as El Chapo, well-constructed tunnels were the key to his operation. In 2014, authorities released photographs of the tunnels he used to escape from his many hideouts. They were nothing short of ingenious. El Chapo and his men were so skilled at making these tunnels that he was even able to escape his prison cell using one. El Chapo escaped prison through a tiny hole hidden within his shower cell. The tunnel led to a motorcycle that was modified to run on a track. Traveling it brought El Chapo to the outside of a warehouse about a mile away. El Chapo was eventually captured again, but not before he did a little more business.
Yes. It's clear that there was food being made, plates, a lot of flies all over the place, but every inch of tile in this house had someone sitting on it when the agents busted through the door.
Quite often what will happen is somebody may have a cell phone, and because the conditions are so bad, they will call 911, and that's how we are able to uncover some of these stash houses.
Do you know what's going to happen to you now?
Yeah, deported in Mexico, I think.
62 people were inside this home. Elma Galindo Alvarez says she paid $8,000 to a smuggler to get her here. She says she's been here for 15 days.
Is this your first time coming illegally?
No, it's my second time.
Your second.
So, what happened to the human smugglers?
Hey there, Mia. 5 of them, all of them here illegally, were just officially charged inside the federal courthouse behind me. Immigration investigators say the group was responsible for a massive human smuggling operation that started at the border and ended here. Air 11 could barely make out a clean shot Friday. Trees shaded that 2-story home in an established Southwest Houston neighborhood. During a bust, police found 97 people stripped down to their underwear and stuffed into 2 rooms. The doors dead-bolted from the hall, so men and women could not escape.
I walk every day with my kids in the evenings. I've never seen anything out of the ordinary in that house, ever. It's always very clean outside, very well taken care of. So it's surprising.
Newly filed federal court documents spell out an elaborate human smuggling operation. Witnesses ID'd 5 people, a woman and 4 men, as the masterminds behind the federal crime. Some of the 97 victims say they paid thousands to be smuggled into the U.S. through McAllen last month. Some were forced to live in a South Texas stash house like this for weeks before they were guided through the brush, likely around a Border Patrol checkpoint. People were then driven here, locked up as their families were extorted for even more money.
Deplorable conditions. Some of them hadn't eaten in 3 days.
At least 5 people tested positive for COVID-19.
Some of them needed medical attention.
The bust happened because a Honduran woman paid smugglers $11,000 to bring her brother to the U.S. The smugglers asked the woman for an additional $6,000 or her brother would be killed. She didn't have the money, so she called Houston police.
It's horrible. It's heartbreaking. Stay vigilant as neighbors to look out for one another.
Okay, this human smuggling stash house was a rental home. Police say that's common. That's why landlords across the city need to double check references and take a look inside once your tenants move in. Because if there's little furniture in the home, well, that's a red flag too. Police.
Thank you for visiting Education Fun Online. Please like and subscribe.